Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I was walking around the disc golf course the other day, and it occurred to me that there's enough new things in my bag that it's time for a little update. This is by no means going to be an extensive run through, simply going to be touching on a couple of the new things that I'm throwing. So without further ado, we're going to start with the Star Eagle. This is primarily a cool ass disc that's acting as a totem up here in my bag. So when I walk around, the Eagle reminds me to throw badass throws. I've never really thrown Eagles before, a little bit overstable for me, I'm still working it in. New disc, working with it. Moving on, we've got a G-Star Wombat. These are molds I picked up in person at that little Warwick Deli. Kind of reminds me of a Star Lion or Mako 3. It's a very straight mold. Don't use it a ton. I kind of use it for little touchy approaches in the woods where maybe you can't get a lot of power and you just kind of want like a seeing eye shot through the woods that's going to sit down. Probably something that's going to cycle out of my bag at some point, not necessarily a keeper. But this is a great catch disc too. I've had some throws with some people, and this is a very fun one. So Kyle, this one will make you proud. MD4, Discmania. This is a disc that I think was recommended by the Square Well. This is extremely overstable. It's a lot like a combination of a Rock 3 and a Gator. So it's, as of today, kind of bumped the Gator out of my bag. It's not something I'm currently bagging today, maybe just based on the courses I'm playing and everything else. But this has been a staple for very overstable shots where you need to hit a tunnel in the woods and you need it to hook back left. I'm using this for approaches a lot. So, a lot of the type of throws where I used to use my Gator and I'm pinpointing a hyzer out, this thing's coming in very handy, especially now that I've got it to be beat in a little bit and a little bit more workable. Very stable out of the box for me. I wasn't quite sure I was going to work with it. Coming in clutch. Along those lines, we've got a Halo Star Lion. It's got one of those USA flag stamps. I'm not the biggest flag stamp person, but this disc is pretty sick. All right. This is very, very straight. I use this Camp Gaw Hole 17 when I'm shooting down the mountain and I want something to boo 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 laser beam. So it's a Star plastic. It's got that luster edge. It makes it a little bit more overstable than the Star line that I've used. So it's bumped the Star line out of my bag right now. This is the main one that's working. I love this disc. This is something that I need to be bagging right now. So I've touched on this before, that I have a couple Leopard 3 molds, and this is one, the Luster mold. It's one of the Drew Gibson runs from a couple years ago, one of the Tour series. And I mentioned that I had maybe used these a little bit, but hadn't had a chance to fully work it in or notice a difference between a Star one. This is faster. This is a little bit more overstable. So there's shots that I'm shooting that I need to go dead straight, that I don't want to fade too much right, don't want to fade too much left, and I'm pretty much putting close to full power into. This is what I'm using. Love this disc. It's workable. Right now it's kind of bumped. Not for all courses. The Star went out. I'm always going to be bagging a Star Leopard 3, but for certain courses when I know that I'm going to be needing the straight shot a little bit more and a little bit more speed, this is what I'm going with. So along those lines, this is a disc that a lot of people bag, but it's a different mold. This is a T-Bird 3 Metal Flake. It's one of the Paul McBeth runs. And I've had this disc for years. Again, it's a little bit more overstable than a Star T-Bird 3. So if I'm pinpointing something and I want it to hit a gap, hook back a little bit, this is what I'm using. This is very point and shoot. It also has a badass stamp, so I love this thing. Moving on to some drivers, and this is really the reason I actually made this video, because I had some breakthroughs the other day, or maybe the past couple months. Star Mamba, dun 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 dun. So I may have mentioned a Champ Mamba I was throwing last time. Star Mamba has bumped it out of the bag. It's the classic green color, which most of my drivers are, so it fits in really well with what I'm looking to do. This is, I think, Innova's longest, most overstable driver, and it's something that I can throw close to full power when I need something to go straight and turn right, much like I would throw a Leopard 3. If I need a shot that's a little bit longer than a Leopard 3 for me, this is what I'm reaching for. I've developed a ton of consistency. There's certain holes like Camp Gaw number 3. If you remember, you're kind of throwing up and you need to come, Camp Gaw number 4, you're throwing up and you need to come back right a little bit. This is something I'm relying on. This is a money disc. This is going to be my bag for years, hopefully. And without further ado, the Star Excalibur. So this is a disc that I've owned for years and I've just started to figure out. This is a model that I know Nate Sexton throws a little bit, and I use this for longer max distance forehands exclusively right now. A lot of times where I may have been reaching for a Star Firebird, trying to get a flick bombed out there to come back, Star Excalibur. It's got more distance, and maybe my flick has finally come far enough where I can throw this. So there's a hole at Camp Gaw, it's hole 14, I believe. There's a rock in front of you. You need to throw out far, and the hole's going to come back right. I parked the crap out of this with this the other day. And this was actually the mold that kind of made me realize, hey, I need to do a little bit of an update because this thing is new for me. So forehands, I'm using this. I throw Star Destroyers for forehands a lot, but when I'm looking for a, kind of a very controlled shot with a lot of distance, this is what I'm going with. So that's the main update. We're not going to ramble on a lot. Hopefully the presentation and the craziness around here is coming across. Evan, this is the nerdiest of nerdy updates. If you want to throw one back to us, I'd love to hear what kind of nonsense you're throwing. You can throw some babies in the basket. You can do whatever type of nonsense you want. But gentlemen, I hope you're well. I hope we actually get to hang out in person soon and punch each other and throw some things at each other. And I will wish you all a nice day and a pleasant summer.